Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wealth Coffee Chat, our Finance Friday edition. Just want to start off with having a quick chat about the Property Summit. This is our event in the Gold Coast between the 13th and the 15th of June. So for anybody who is interested in elevating their understanding of the Australian property market and the strategies for lifelong wealth through investments, the event will have industry acclaimed guest speakers and our expert 6-star team. There's some great opportunities to network with expert and like-minded people. I'm going to drop a link to reserve your spot to the event, and I will show a video of what the event looked like last year.
All right, this is going to be fun. Who has played the property game before? Who has been in the game? Who's never played the property game before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Who likes Monopoly? Did anyone like Monopoly when they were a kid? Well, this is Monopoly in real life in this room. Every hour or so, you guys are going to be up and you're going to be running around the room like maniacs trying to play the property game and win the property game.
Today, I wanted to share the lessons, the mistakes, and the wins.
I want everybody to put up their hands who knows their interest rates on all their loans right now.
If you haven't seen me around before, like 13 years in the industry, in property management specifically.
Who likes paying tax? If you need help finding somewhere to donate, I'm sure I can find somewhere else where it can go.
No, we've got an expression in that, let's go and make new mistakes in the world. Who wants to make new mistakes?
These are just strategic moves that can make such a big difference.
So obviously buy well, never sell. Definitely the majority of what everyone's looking to do is collect some A-grade assets, B-grade assets, whatever it might be.
I loved the idea of being a property investor and developing that identity.
Collectively, they have way more years experience in everything that you think you're trying to solve. Because they do it every single day.
want to say a quick good morning to Courtney and good evening to Kevin. Thanks for joining us all the way from Florida in the US. Morning, Jeff. Actually, I'd like to start with that, Jeff. Jeff has actually shared a joke, which normally I have my own, but I'm happy to share one from a listener. How much to renovate a roof? Or how much does it cost to renovate a roof? Nothing. It's on the house. Since Labor has been in government, has been re-elected into government this week, I just wanted to get a recap of what that means for new home loan buyers and also existing ones. For new home loan buyers, they have expanded the home guarantee scheme. So this is where we only need 5%. So only 5% is actually required, and we don't have to pay mortgage insurance. So the banks will cover the mortgage insurance, and you only need to come up with 5% deposit. And the adjustments they've made to this scheme is that they have actually removed the income caps. So regardless of how much income you're earning, you will be able to apply for this scheme. The other one is the actual limit on the number of applications that can be submitted through this scheme. In the past, they've put a cap on that. So that's been completely removed. So as many people as all the different type of incomes, you're able to purchase the property with family and friends. So in the past, it's only been spouses. They've expanded this to you can purchase it with your mum, with your dad, with your brother, with your sister, even with your cousins. It's even expanded to your friends. So two friends can get together, purchase a property, get into the market, and later down the track, they may be able to look at selling the property and utilizing the gains there to purchase property once they've found a partner or started a family. The other really great tweak that they've made on this is that the property price caps have actually been increased. So in the past, purchasing a property in Sydney under this scheme was almost impossible because we had no property. I believe it was in the 750, 800,000 mark. So that's been increased. And that's been increased across the board in each of the different states. Jeff, you're right. The scheme does start January 1st. I think and I'll come back to this, Jeff, because the interest rate, I'm going to do an interest rate update and obviously what that means for everybody. But yeah, there is a potential that this scheme is going to miss the market. Well, there is going to be a period where people are not going to be able to apply for it, but there may be an increase. There most likely will be an increase in property values with interest rate drops. So, but I'll come back to that a little bit later. The other scheme that the government have been speaking about, we haven't actually had a chance to get it rolled out due to some legislation in each of the states that needs to be passed in order for it to come to fruition, is a help to buy scheme. Now, this scheme is where the government actually chips in money to help for the deposit, which avoids the mortgage insurance. Now, the government can chip in up to 40% of the value of the property. What does that mean? Means that you can get into a property for as little as 5% or even 2%, depending on some of the lenders. Now, the catch here is that depending on how much the banks, the government deposits, they actually own a share of the property, which means that when it comes to selling the property, you will have to apportion that, what the government owns of that property, and pay that back to the government. So if you are asking them to deposit up to 40%, that means that when you sell the property, you have to pay back 40%, or you have to give the government 40% of the sale price to the government. So those are the schemes that exist for new property purchases. Sorry, new property purchases. Oh, sorry. The other thing about home guarantee scheme is that it's no longer on new property, it's on existing property as well. So that's great as well, because we're not now restricted just to find. We're not restricted to just having to find new property. Now, the only great news for existing homeowners is that everybody gets batteries for their homes. So 1 in 3 households have solar, and only 1 in 40 have a battery. So the government thought that they would introduce the Cheaper Home Batteries Program scheme, which starts July this year. And so existing homeowners can save up to 30% on household batteries. So you can install a battery in your home, and that scheme will help you to reduce the cost of getting that battery installed. Not much in terms of what's available for the existing homeowners, but at least it's something. Normally I start with an interest rate update, but I actually wanted to finish it with it today because, as I said last week, most of the lenders are expecting that there will be a 0.5% cut at this month's RBA meeting, which is going to be on the 20th of May. And most are predicting rates will drop down to 1% by August of this year. Morning, Chris. Thanks for joining. What does the rate drop actually mean in terms of lending? Now, everybody talks about what that means in terms of your monthly repayments. Absolutely. As I've said in previous Wealth Coffee chats, when the rate drops, you need to actually contact the lender to find out what your new repayments are, or request your new repayments. They don't actually drop. They won't actually drop automatically. And just because the rate drop is coming down by 0.5% doesn't necessarily mean the banks will pass on the full 0.5. So keep an eye out for when the rate drops and the notifications that come out, and then decide when you're going to reach out to your lenders to see if you are going to, so you can request the actual recalculations of your monthly repayments based on the new rate drop. And Courtney is always jumping ahead with my questions. The next part I was going to ask you to discuss is, what does it actually mean in terms of lending? And I've done some rough calculations. Now, I've just taken some rough figures based on $1 million home loan. If the rate drops by 1%, we're actually looking at about we're looking at an increase of $100,000 in home loan lending. And if they're investment loans, then we are looking at an increase of $140K in investment loans. So there's a slightly higher increase, mainly due to the fact that investment lending has negative gearing aspects to it. So that actually helps increase how much you can actually borrow. So what can you do now? Now is actually a great time, as we're leading into the rate cut, to have a conversation with your brokers to find out, when rate drops, how much additional lending does it unlock for me? And it's a great time to run scenarios. If we're able to borrow an additional $100,000 or to purchase a home, how much does that unlock? If we can borrow an additional $140,000, how much will that unlock in terms of our borrowing capacity and how much we can purchase our next investment property for? Which also then helps us navigate all the other costings around that, which is your stamp duty and the deposit, because it's great when we can increase our lending $140,000, but if we don't have the cost to complete the purchase of the investment property, then we're kind of stuck. So great time to plan while these rate cuts are actually coming through over the next couple of months. What I will note is that when it comes to lending, we won't be able to get the pre-approval at the higher rate. So at the higher lending amount and at the lower rate. So for example, if we decide to submit an application now, it will be assessed on the current interest rates. And if we needed to increase how much we're going to borrow because interest rates have dropped, you actually need to get your broker to go back to the lender and make and resubmit it or get it reassessed. I share this because I had a scenario where a client of mine, we submitted the application before the last rate cut came into effect, and the banks required us to close off all the credit cards in order for the loan to service, which my client was happy to do. And it got approved, loan documents got sent out, and then the clients said, is there a way for us to keep one of the credit cards because they wanted to use it to cover some expenses. I ran the numbers and I said to them, look, we can, but we may need to make some adjustments to the loan amount that we're going to borrow. I went back to the lender and I said, look, here's what the clients are looking at doing. The loan had to get reassessed because it already got into approval stage and loan documents had got sent out. When it went back to the lender, I actually got a call from the assessor going, oh, we can keep all the credit cards and we can keep the loan amount the way it is. And I asked them, how did that work? And he said, well, because now that the rate had dropped, we can reassess at the lower benchmark rate, which meant that, the clients were able to keep credit cards. So just keep that in mind when you have a conversation with your brokers, because once the rate drops come in effect and it's been applied to the lender that you're submitting the application to, we can get it reassessed and we can actually get it, whether it's pre-approved, on the higher lending amount. So take this opportunity, have these conversations and start planning, because I think it's always great to plan as you lead into borrowing rather than getting in a position where you want to purchase something and then you go and organize a loan. So that's all for me today. Everybody have a wonderful Friday. Again, just a reminder that we have our Property Summit event in the Gold Coast on the 13th, between the 13th and the 15th of June, and it's an amazing event, and it's tons of learning, tons of opportunity to network. So I will leave you with a video of that. Jeff, I think they will wind it back maybe 2.25 as first tariff deals done. Crypto going boom, shares climbing. Thanks for sharing that, Jeff, and thanks for your joke this morning. If anybody has one, I'm more than happy to share your jokes with everybody on our Wealth Coffee Chats. So have a wonderful weekend, and I will leave you with a video and the link to the tickets to the event. Bye, guys.
All right, this is going to be fun. Who has played the property game before? Who has been in the game? Who's never played the property game before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Who likes Monopoly? Did anyone like Monopoly when they were a kid? Well, this is Monopoly in real life in this room. Every hour or so, you guys are going to be up and you're going to be running around the room like maniacs trying to play the property game and win the property game.
Today, I wanted to share the lessons, the mistakes, and the wins.
I want everybody to put up their hands who knows their interest rates on all their loans right now.
If you haven't seen me around before, like 13 years in the industry, in property management specifically.
Who likes paying tax? If you need help finding somewhere to donate, I'm sure I can find somewhere else where it can go.
No, we've got an expression in that let's go and make new mistakes in the world. Who wants to make new mistakes?
These are just strategic moves that can make such a big difference.
So obviously buy well, never sell. Definitely the majority of what everyone's looking to do is collect some A-grade assets, B-grade assets, whatever it might be.
I loved the idea of being a property investor and developing that identity.
Collectively, they have way more years' experience in everything that you think you're trying to solve. Because they do it every single day.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.